The movie begins in 1942, a year after the Germans invaded the Soviet Union during World War II. A Red Army soldier named Vasily Zaitsev is on a train to Stalingrad. He's remembering the time his grandfather taught him how to shoot a rifle while they were hunting. On the train with him, there are many other soldiers and some civilians, including a woman named Tanya Chernova, who Vasily notices but doesn't speak to. The civilians leave during the journey, while the soldiers are dropped right in the middle of the Battle of Stalingrad. To reach the front lines, they need to board a boat. But the enemy takes advantage of this and attacks them with bombs and gunfire as soon as they see them. Many soldiers fall, and some try to escape by jumping into the water, only to be shot by their own officers for deserting. When they reach the docks, only half of the soldiers are given rifles. The rest are given bullets and told to follow those with weapons. They're forced into a suicidal charge that the Germans easily overpower. Vasily, who was given bullets, barely survives by staying low and pretending to be dead. Soldiers who try to escape are shot by their own side, who consider them cowards and traitors. Soon, the area is filled with bodies, with no one alive in sight. Then, a few moments later, a car tries to cross the area. A big bullet hits a thing and makes it fall down. Then, a guy named Commissar Danilov comes out of it. He quickly hides in a fountain pretending to be dead. Some German soldiers come by and shoot at the bodies to make sure no one's alive. When they leave, Danilov takes a rifle from one of the dead bodies but finds it has no bullets. Then he finds out he's not alone in the fountain. Another guy named Vasily is hiding there too. Vasily asks for the rifle and loads it with bullets he had. He tells Danilov to wait for an explosion before shooting. Since Danilov isn't good with guns, he lets Vasily take it. When more soldiers come, Vasily shoots them with great skill. Later, they get rescued and taken back to their base. Danilov makes some papers praising Vasily's bravery. Many days later, Chairman Nikita Khrushchev comes to Stalingrad to help defend the city, which is very important to Stalin. He gets mad when he hears they lost again. He asks for ideas to boost morale, but most soldiers just suggest the same old tactics that don't work. Danilov has a different idea. He thinks instead of punishment, they should give hope. They should make a hero and inspire people to want to protect their country. He has the perfect hero for the job. Danilov's idea is accepted, and he gets promoted to senior lieutenant. Vasily's face now appears in the newspaper as an example to follow. He also gets promoted to the sniper division. From then on, Vasily becomes the face of the Russian army, a national hero, and a propaganda icon. His achievements are featured in every edition of the Army's newspaper, and on pamphlets all over the country. One day, during a mission, Vasily and his team are found by a young boy named Sasha Filipov, who admires Vasily. He invites him to his humble home, where his mother, Mrs. Filipov, prepares dinner to thank him for what he's done for their homeland. Shortly after they arrive, Danilov also shows up, bringing letters from Vasily's fans from all over the country. To keep up with the hope and propaganda plan, Danilov makes Vasily reply to all of them. Although he's the one who tells Vasily what to write, especially since he has to help him with spelling. Another person arrives after they start. Tanya, the girl from the train, who is like a sister to Sasha and has become a private in the local militia. She's also fluent in German because she studied at the university. Danilov wants to recruit her because they need more soldiers that understand German. But Tanya would rather stay and fight, especially since the local militia are short on men. She changes her mind when Danilov explains how much she could help them by decoding German intel, and that he'll send 12 soldiers in exchange for every person that speaks German. Meanwhile, the German army is starting to suffer the toll Vasily and his team of snipers are causing in their ranks. So they summon German Major Erwin Koenig, a renowned marksman and head of the German Army Sniper School at Zossen. He's tasked with killing Vasily, and Koenig prepares a plan to make Vasily come to him instead of doing the chasing. Some hours later, Vasily is woken up from a nap by his team because there's some trouble in the department store sector. Vasily shoots a shadow in the window, and a helmet falls. So believing they've hit their target, he takes Ludmila with him to find the body. The companion they leave behind is shot as soon as they're gone. The duo makes it inside the department store and sneaks around until they reach the window, only to find that the shape they had seen is a mannequin posed to make it look like a sniper. This is obviously a trap, and when Vasily finds a cigarette butt on the ground, he realizes their enemy is still there, watching them. He thinks they should take it easy and stay hidden until they think of a proper plan to escape. But as planes start arriving and bombing the area, Ludmila gets scared and runs away, giving Konig the perfect chance to shoot her, but Vasily escapes before Konig can do the same to him as well. Konig returns to the hideout he's staying at, and gets his shoes cleaned by Sasha, who pretends to be an innocent bystander but is passing Konig information about Vasily in exchange for food so the Major will trust him and share information of his whereabouts in return. When the Red Army learns that the Germans are using Konig, they bring over a former student of his, Kulikov, to teach Vasily how Konig thinks and help him kill him. Before returning to the field, however, Vasily must attend a special party in his honor. After saying hello to Tanya, he's dragged by Khrushchev to see the journalists, answer questions, take pictures, and look at a giant Stalin painting, because according to Khrushchev, he's always watching over his country. Seeing the painting makes Vasily think of the day his grandfather taught him to shoot again. It turns out he failed his first shot, and that allowed the wolf to reach their horse and eat it. Some days later, Vasily, Kulikov, and another member of the sniper team, Volodya, enter an abandoned building where they have been told they could find Konig. As they sneak around as carefully as possible, they find a body in a shooting position, posed like the last trap. This means they're on the right track. After crossing an open area and luckily avoiding all bullets from the enemy, they manage to shoot two different repair guys before it's time for dinner. Volodya leaves his partners for a moment to retrieve the soup he had been heating in another room, but gets captured in the way. Konig and his team try to make him confess where Vasily is hiding, but since Volodya won't talk, they dress him up as their own and send him out to pretend he's another repair guy. Without knowing who it really is, Kulikov immediately kills him, revealing their location on purpose, so when he makes a helmet appear at the window, the enemy will shoot it and reveal their location as well. Konig doesn't fall for the trap, so the duo decides to relocate, but when they jump an open section of the floor, Konig takes the chance and shoots Kulikov while Vasily escapes safely. This constant chase between Vasily and Konig is taking too long, and an impatient Khrushchev is starting to get on Danilov's back. After their meeting, Danilov goes to see Tanya to bring her a gift and try to court her, but she surprises him by asking to be reassigned. Some hours later, Vasily returns to headquarters, and his mood isn't the best. He's never seen a shot like he's seen today, and thinks Konig may be too good for him to beat. Danilov promises him they're getting new intel, and that next time Vasily will be one or perhaps even more steps ahead of him, so he has nothing to worry about. But he does ask for a favor in return. He wants Vasily to talk to Tanya and convince her not to ask for that transfer. When Vasily tries to do so, Tanya explains that she asked to be transferred because earlier in the morning she learned her parents were among a group of prisoners that were executed by the Germans, and she wants to go there and fight. Understanding her need for revenge, Vasily gives her Kulikov's rifle. After Sasha shares information with both of them, Konig and Vasily go to the same abandoned building, thinking they will surprise the other. While Konig waits at an elevated platform, Vasily and his sniper partner enter through and hide behind the pipes, the shaking of which alerts Konig of their position. As soon as the duo tries to move, Konig shoots them, causing Vasily to lose his rifle and his companion to get hurt. Vasily sends his partner back to headquarters since he can't do anything in that state, and while the sniper makes his way back into the pipe, Vasily tries to recover his rifle by tying some rope to a knife and throwing it at the weapon to drag him towards him. But when he finally manages to land it correctly, Konig cuts the rope with an easy shot. When some German planes fly by dropping some bombs, they shatter the glass roof, and some of the shards fall in front of Vasily, giving Konig a full view of his face. At headquarters, Danilov is trying to convince Tanya not to fight, that her skills are more valuable in the intellectual field. Their argument is interrupted by the returning sniper, who tells them what happened. Tanya doesn't hesitate to go through the same pipe route to reach him in order to help. But as soon as he sees her, Vasily tells her to stay where she is and follow his plan. The same way Konig has been watching him through the glass, Vasily has also used a shard to watch him in return. And thanks to this, he knows his location. He asks Tanya to grab another piece of glass and turn it until the light reflects on it and blinds Konig, creating an opening for Vasily to safely recover his rifle and shoot him. He doesn't manage to kill Konig, but he does hurt his hand. Later, when Vasily and Tanya return to headquarters, they celebrate being alive with the rest of the soldiers, and afterward, they hide under the covers and make love right in the middle of the communal bedroom. The next morning, Vasily asks Danilov to stop writing about him. He can't carry this weight on his shoulders anymore, and he wants to fight as a regular soldier. Danilov doesn't accept this, and to manipulate Vasily into feeling bad for even asking, he brings over Sasha, who shows him how proud he is for having gotten intel from Koenig. With the kid looking at him with so much hope in his eyes, Vasily can't say no, and he allows Sasha to guide him to the area where Koenig will be waiting. The ground is covered with bodies, so Vasily hides among them and proceeds to wait for Koenig to show up. There's an issue, however. He spends so much time waiting there that he falls asleep. When Koenig finally sees him from his hiding spot, he is about to shoot him, only to suddenly see a looting soldier appear between them, moving Vasily's body as if he were dead and easily stealing all his belongings. The German army captures this soldier and finds he stole Vasily's ID, which makes them think Vasily is dead. Koenig doesn't agree, but he's dismissed anyway. Refusing to go home while Vasily may still be out there, Koenig talks to Sasha again, and already suspecting what may be happening, tells him which his next location will be. At the Russian headquarters, Khrushchev finds out the Germans are passing around the news of Vasily's death, and gets furious at Danilov, who doesn't believe it. Khrushchev doesn't care if it's true or not. He wants Danilov to do his writing magic and convince the public everything is fine. Afterward, Danilov tries to talk to Tanya about her possibly traveling to his house, but they're interrupted when the loudspeakers start announcing Vasily's death as well. Danilov gets ready to write an announcement of Vasily's death as a hero, but at that moment, the man himself comes back. He explains how he missed his shot for falling asleep, and that he had to stay hidden from a man trying to kill him, so Danilov accepts to transfer him. Vasily asks about Tanya. Sasha tells him he told her he was alive, so she went to the station to find Koenig and get revenge. Danilov and Vasily hurry to the station to rescue her. When they find her, Vasily and Tanya kiss, making Danilov very jealous. When he gets back to headquarters, instead of writing a report about Vasily's heroism, he tells everyone that Vasily is a traitor. They don't know that Koenig saw them at the station. Now he's sure Sasha has been sharing information, so he captures Sasha and hangs him on a pole to lure Vasily. Tanya almost falls for it when she sees the body, but Vasily stops her, saying it's what Koenig wants. They agree on a plan. Vasily will go after Koenig while Tanya asks Danilov for a favor. Together, they visit Mrs. Filippov to help her leave the country with a special pass Danilov arranged. Mrs. Filippov doesn't want to leave without Sasha. To avoid upsetting her, instead of telling her Sasha died, they say he joined the Germans. Mrs. Filippov doesn't blame him for leaving if it keeps him safe and agrees to go with them. On their way to the boat, a bomb explodes nearby, hurting Tanya. Danilov believes she's dead and leaves, but Mrs. Filippov persists. She convinces a doctor to let Tanya board with her by using a special pass and saying Tanya is her daughter. Vasily and Koenig are in a standoff, not knowing where the other is. Suddenly, Danilov appears next to Vasily. Now that Tanya is dead, Danilov believes he has nothing left to live for, and thinks humanity isn't worth saving. To make up for the lies he told about Vasily, he sacrifices himself. He comes out of hiding so Koenig can shoot him and reveal his location. Vasily doesn't react immediately, so Koenig thinks he has killed Vasily himself and comes out to check the body. Vasily is waiting for him halfway, and as soon as Koenig aims his rifle, he takes off his hat and accepts his fate. After killing him, Vasily takes Koenig's rifle and leaves it with Danilov's body. 2 months later, after the Germans have surrendered, Vasily receives a letter from Tanya, saying she's alive and being taken care of at a field hospital. Once the city is safe enough to travel, Vasily goes to the address on the letter, and the couple happily reunites. The end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.